Hey guys, it's Arlette from Chasing Joy. So I'm in the middle of cycle 15. So 15 months since I started trying to get pregnant to be a single mother by choice. And so 15 months of it not being successful. Right now I am outside of the fertility clinic. I'm about to go in and talk with my doctor about possibly moving towards IVF and just in general what maybe she's thinking about I guess my odds and if we should go straight to IVF or anything else. So honestly, I haven't been looking forward to this appointment. I don't know. I think my general history with doctors, being a woman who's been overweight her whole life, that is not great. I get a lot of blaming everything on weight, and like if you lose weight, that'll cure all your problems type thing, which I don't believe to be true. Not saying that there's not value in losing weight, obviously. But, it hasn't given me the best experience with doctors in my life. And then, I guess recently losing my mom after her fighting cancer for a while, and some of the doctors' attitudes we encountered, especially in those last few weeks, I'm just not feeling too great about doctors in general right now. So I didn't rush to make this appointment, but feeling pretty good today. And better than I have in a while. So anyway, about to go inside, trying to not, already rambling too much. I don't want to make the video too long, so I will be back in a few minutes. Well, I guess, probably a half hour or so for me, a few seconds for you guys, to kind of tell you what we discussed. Hey guys, I'm back. How I feel about it. So the visit went really well. Even though I have like mixed feelings about it. The first part of the visit I met with the doctor, and that was good. I told you guys about, some of my baggage, I guess, when it comes to doctors and how I'm feeling about them right now. But it was fine. She was really nice. She's always nice. So that wasn't surprising. But she, everyone was really compassionate and sympathetic towards me, regarding losing my mom and everything. So that was good and was helpful. So we basically discussed what the IVF process would look like for me, and kind of like my options. And basically it sounds like the IVF is the best thing for me to do right now. We kind of talked about between now and when I actually do the IVF, if I want, I can, still try a few IUIs or something in the meantime. But it probably makes more sense to just save the money and apply it to the IVF, because the type of IUI I would do, she still would just recommend kind of like what I've been doing with the Clomid, or like with the bracketing. And because I don't have, like, I already ovulate, she mentioned trying maybe like the Lupron, but that basically is more for people who don't ovulate. So at this point, it does seem financially, after 8 IUIs, it kind of makes more sense to just put my money toward the IVF. And I was kind of leaning that way, before the visit anyway. But she described the whole process to me. So basically, kind of what it would look like for me is I would take 2 drugs to stimulate the ovaries for the first few days after the cycle started. And then about day 8, they would add in another drug, a 3rd drug, that would prevent me from ovulating, which that's good, because that's one of the concerns that I'd had with the IUIs. I tend to ovulate pretty early, and I don't want, with IVF, with it being, more invasive and more stressful and way more money being invested towards it, I don't want to do anything that can mess up the timing. So I was glad to hear about that drug. All the drugs are injectables, unfortunately. So it's like needles, which I'm not really excited or looking forward to that. And it would include monitoring, so I'd have to go in like every other day for up to like say day 8, and then after that I might have to go every day because they don't want to, you know, miss the window. And then once the eggs are the size that they're looking for, I would do a trigger shot and go in 3 days later or 36 hours later for the egg retrieval. She said I would have to go on birth control for a couple, you know, like a couple weeks first, and that's so that they can make sure that your eggs are all kind of like, the follicles rather, are all starting from the same point, so that the eggs kind of grow at the same time. I'm sorry it's so dark in here. It's very sunny outside, but I guess it's a lot of shadows. I'm driving behind a truck right now, so sorry about that. But I wanted to tell you guys everything before, you know, I kind of forget. So the other interesting thing is for people who are doing, who are using frozen donor sperm like me, you have to have the ICSI, I think is what it's called, or ICSI, which is where they actually will, after the egg retrieval, they will actually take the sperm in, and deposit one sperm in each egg instead of like putting the sperm just in the, I guess, dish with the eggs and letting them fertilize on their own. They actually like assist with the fertilization. And she said that's because with the frozen donor sperm, between the freeze and the thaw, the sperm can lose some of its mobility and stuff. So because it, you know, the quality is not the same as fresh, they do the ICSI whenever they have frozen donor sperm. So that makes it cost a little more. So basically I felt pretty good with everything the doctor was saying. Nothing was really surprising. And then the next part was to go and talk to the financial advisor. So this is the part, you know, where it becomes more stressful because it is a lot of money. So basically there were like 3 different ways to go about IVF. You could do a single cycle, which costs, for me, would be about $11,000 because of the ICSI or ICSI, whatever it's called. That's what makes it like a couple thousand more. And that includes 1 transfer. So if I were to get like 4 or 5 embryos from the IVF and say the first one was a no-go, then I would have to pay for each transfer, which I think is like another $4,500. So that was the first option. Oh, and that option didn't include any storage. The second option was like a multi-cycle where you basically get in 2 IVFs for like, I think it was like 17 or maybe it was 19 with the ICSI. So it's like a little bit of a discount, and I think you get storage for, I'm not sure how long, a year maybe. And so that was like a little bit more of a deal. And then the last option was what they call their shared risk. So that is the most expensive, which was like $25,000. And you get up to 6 IVFs and however many transfers you can get from those 6 IVFs. So if, say, you know, you didn't get pregnant through your first IVF, and maybe you got like, you know, 3 or 4 embryos and none of those works, you can still do 5 more IVFs and all those transfers are included. And you get free storage all the way up to the point where you have a baby. So basically the shared risk is you get 6 IVFs and all the transfers, and if you don't have a baby, not just get pregnant, even if you have a miscarriage, you can keep trying until you get to the 6 IVFs, but not until you bring home a baby are you done. If you go through all 6 and all your embryo transfers and you do not have a baby, then you get all your money back. So I'm leaning toward that one, even though it's the most expensive. But I guess I'm feeling once I'm getting into the thousands of dollars, and I'm probably going to do some kind of financing or loan, then I feel like, well, I might as well get the biggest bang for my buck, because you know, there are no guarantees. And I was one of those people who thought I was going to get pregnant with the first IUI, and here I am, you know, 15 cycles and 9 IUIs later and no baby. So and no documented reason. Like, I don't have the PCOS, I don't have endometriosis, no fibroids. So I did have one pregnancy that ended in miscarriage. So I kind of feel like the shared risk is probably the best option. If I get pregnant the first time, then I'll just be happy with my baby. But if I don't, I'd probably be kicking myself for not having, you know, got the better deal financially. So that's kind of where I'm headed. The third part of the meeting was meeting with the nurse, where we discussed the medications. And that's another thing, you know, the medications are so expensive. They range between, she said, $3,000 and $6,000 for most people, but they could go upwards to $8,000 depending on your dosages. But at least I do qualify for the discount plan. So right now I would get half off of the medications. So that's good. And I would get 15% off of any of those IVF choices that I told you guys about. So basically I feel pretty good about it, you know. I'm not going to be starting any of this like in the next cycle, because for the IVF you have to have a BMI below 40, and right now my BMI is like 42. It was like 41 point something, but I've gained a couple pounds, like maybe 5 pounds since my mom passed. I've not really been eating all that great. I haven't felt like cooking, so I've been eating out a lot. And I guess I don't know, I guess I just have to wrap my mind around the cooking for one thing also. So, but anyway, I need to lose about 15 pounds to qualify to get my BMI where it needs to be able to do the IVF. And the BMI requirement is basically because of the anesthesia. In order for them to be able to do the anesthesia, not in a hospital setting, you have to have a low enough BMI where you're less likely to have complications. So that's pretty much it. They gave me a really huge pamphlet that I'm gonna, well, I guess it's not even pamphlet, it's a folder with a bunch of pamphlets and letters and things in there for me to read up on IVF. But I mean, I've kind of done a lot of research and watching so many of you guys' different YouTube videos who've been down this path. So I kind of know what I'm in for. I'm not really looking forward to the needles. That is, you know, stressful for me to think about, but I know I'm perfectly capable of doing it, and I'm just going to do it. And as far as the financial part, obviously I'm not looking forward to that. However, you know, people spend that much on a car, and I guess I just won't be getting a car for another year or two. And I'm pretty good with my money, so I think that I'll be able to manage it and get whatever paid back quickly to you know, to be in a good position. So basically it went well. I think I'm definitely on the road to IVF now. So next thing I have to do is I have to go back. I have to get okay, guys. Sorry, this video is so bad. The phone keeps cutting off. But anyway, just to finish up, so my next steps are I'm going in on the beginning of the next cycle, which will be cycle 16 for the day 3 testing, where they'll do blood work and ultrasound. I'll get updated AMH, FSH, probably like estrogen too, and they'll do an ultrasound to count my follicles. And based on that, the doctor can plug that information into software, which will give her a personalized probability for my success with IVF. So my next video will likely be the results of those tests. And based off that information, she said that can help me to make the best choice in terms of which of those IVF plans that I mentioned. So even though right now I'm thinking I'll more than likely do the shared risk, maybe I'll change my mind after hearing what she thinks my probability of success is based off my updated numbers. So thanks for watching. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. Eventually I'll get better at making these videos, but thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for your support, all your kind words regarding my mom, and your encouragement through all of these cycles. If you like my videos, please subscribe, thumbs up, share them, all that good stuff. And I am about to sign off to go to the coffee shop and do some work on my blog. So feel free to stop by there, chasing-joy.com, where I write about ways to have the joyful life that you want, and my process back to feeling happy again after losing my mom, because that is priority. Got to get back to my old self so that I can be a good mom for this baby that I've been trying so hard for. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.